So I was a high school student when Nen Daiko formed at a Koji Buddhist temple, and I was a member of the Dharma school. And we used to take, I think, annual trips or periodic trips up to one of our sister temples in Seabrook. At Seabrook, Whole Daiko had just formed, and on a couple of our trips up to New Jersey, they held workshops for the Dharma school kids for us to get to try taiko, and I really enjoyed it. So when Beth started the group at our temple, I joined the group. It was meant to be a family-friendly endeavor, and so I joined and have been with the group since.
When we first moved here to Virginia in 2000, I think, our mom had already been playing taiko, so she was looking for a group in the Northern Virginia area. So we started coming to Ekoji, and our mom was part of Nen Daiko, and then we watched the group perform, play, do all this stuff growing up, and then we were invited to join and play with the group as well when we were kids.
At some point when my children were getting old enough that I felt they could be independent, I decided that I wanted to try to find a hobby that would give me energy and make my life awesome. So I tried a whole bunch of hobbies, martial arts and music and service groups, all different things. But it wasn't quite what I was looking for until I took my first taiko class with Mark H. Rooney. And I thought that was amazing and I wanted to keep doing it. But it was a long drive to Mark's class, and so I was introduced to Nen Daiko. So I went to go see Nen Daiko's performance at Obon, and it was, of course, a wonderful performance. But it wasn't until they performed the song Roga, which is about a wolf pack and about a family, and how the way I interpreted it was that the family was working together towards the survival of their pack. And I found that so moving and just so wonderful, and so I resolved to audition to be a member of Nen Daiko, and that's what I did.
So one of the members who's currently not active at the moment, Greg, brought me on, trying to recruit my mother, actually, because they work at the same school, and my mother went, "Hey, Spencer, you're a drummer, go!"
When I first moved to Washington, D.C., didn't have any friends, and I was looking around. I was at an event and I met someone who was a part of Nen Daiko, and we were just chatting, and she said, "Well, I play taiko," and I said, "Oh, I've always wanted to learn how to play taiko." And so she said, "Well, we're having a workshop, why don't you come?" And so I did, and I had the greatest time. It was so much fun. And at the end of the workshop, someone else asked me, "Well, you're going to stay and audition, right?" And I said, "For what?" And so I didn't really know that you could become a member of Nen Daiko. I was just doing it as a one-time kind of fun thing. But I did end up auditioning, and I haven't left Nen Daiko since.
When I was on the Japanese exchange and teaching program in Japan, I was exposed to taiko. I started playing taiko in Japan, loved it. So when I moved back from Japan, I was looking for a group that I could play with here in the US. And initially I found a group up in Boston I played with for a little bit. Then I moved to Texas where there were no groups. And then I moved to DC and looked around and came across Nen Daiko. So I sent them some emails, got in touch with them. They told me about the apprentice program, and I said, great. Finally, after 4 years of not playing anything, I was able to get back into it.
My mom was in the group. I think she joined in like 2000 or 2001. But my sister and I, we grew up watching our mom and Nen Daiko, and then we went to the performances. We're like, "Mommy, you messed up here and there," and like we'd say stuff like that. So I was like, "Well, if you think you're so good, why don't you join?" And so we went through the program, and we joined Nen Daiko through that.
So I was living in Utah, working for the Air Force in the civil service. And I have family out here, and I started looking for jobs in the area, and I found Fort Belvoir, and so I applied on a kind of like a whim, and I got the job. So it was amazing. So I started looking in the areas immediately after that for taiko groups in the area, and I was referred to Nen Daiko, and everything just lined up, and it's close proximity to my house and work and everything, so it's been awesome.
The first experience was helping at the Obon festivals. I had just moved from Japan, living in Japan, so I was looking for the Japanese things in the area, and I started volunteering here. I always saw Nen Daiko play, always thought it looked amazing, and it's something that I wanted to do someday. Then the 20th anniversary, which was 2014, I believe, actually at the end of the performance, they had a call for an audition, so I was like, I'm definitely going to do that.